let's talk about the um, definition of operational excellence itself, right? How is that going to evolve in a world shaped by climate risk, regulation, geopolitical uncertainty? Traditionally, because operational excellence is only focused on efficiency, cost reduction, reliability. And today, we're talking about sustainability, green practices and innovation. How do you think that's going to be changing, the definition of operational excellence? Yeah, who'd like to go first?
I think that's a great question, and I think it's always worth to look at the various parts of these topics. I mean, we have circular economy, we have sustainability topics in general, we have the human element, we have job creation, we have technology as well, multiple technologies. And I think the most important thing is to not look at all of these things in silos. I have a feeling that we need to combine these things in a coherent framework, let's say, to actually enable then operational excellence, right? Because sustainability from that perspective really the best definition that I come to find was the maintenance of the quality and quantity of stock. So maintaining quality and quantity of stock. But stock can be a lot of things. It can be material flows, it can be other resource flows such as water, energy systems. It can be the human capacity, for example, the health of a human, right? So this is also something that needs to be maintained in terms of quality and quantity, right? Um, so I think that's a quite the good definition. And I think one needs to know that if we are building circular systems in themselves will enable sustainability because they enable companies to actually uphold and maintain quantity and quality of stock. Coupling that with, for example, Industry 4.0 technologies, this is where we can then combine the physical realm in terms of resource flows for matter, energy, and water, but also with the data collection, for example, with IoT sensors, with blockchain technology, with AI, right? But AI does not really give you a lot of things if you don't have big data sets about it, right? So that there's some element to it where you maybe can combine artificial intelligence with IoT systems, for example, right? Let's take a practical example. So, in resource management, for example, if you're collecting resources at high purity, or you're building your manufacturing base, and then you're having a certain reusable parts that you would like to send into another manufacturing hub, for example, right? You need to know the location, you need to know the condition of these components, right? And then basically also with that sensor data, then you can actually then use that in an AI system to then do predictive analytics, for example, all of these things. So I think this is very important to see this twin transition for operational excellence, where we have the physical realm, the digital realm, and in the best case, I would say, but this is a very futuristic topic, the biological realm as well. Because biological realm as well, why am I saying that? This goes to your question beforehand. If we look at a macro trend, we really see that the economy with decentralized, localized production and consumption systems that are looping resources, that's also the same thing that happens in a forest, right? And so a forest ecosystem really is also using water, energy, material flows. That's the same with an economy. So we know that a lot of the parts of the economy has a lot of things to do with biological systems as well. And so the circular bioeconomy and bio materials here is also something that people can really look at. This is basically really the key for the next 20 to 30 years, but starting off operational excellence with the physical and the digital realm, and preferably for the future, the biological realm as well. This is where I see the most powerful solutions, let's say.
And from my opinion as well, I'd like to chip in to say that operational excellence in the past, as Raphael rightly put it, and even you, Renee, just highlighting, it was cost reduction. It was, getting the production out on time and it's efficient. But then what's missing is that intention of what is that for. That was one thing. I think that as we understand how to merge the digital and the physical realm together, or even bringing along the purpose, which is the for biological realm, to almost mimic the natural world, that intention is something that we're starting to see operational excellence needs to include, right? So what does excellence mean? It needs to have a purpose. AI needs a purpose. IoT needs a purpose. So that's one thing. But also looking at the crisis level that we're at with our current operating system, the planet itself as the operating system. We're not just actually facing just climate crisis. We're actually facing a pollution crisis. We're facing a biological loss crisis at the same time. And all of this actually merges together to create an even bigger sort of crisis realm, right? When you look at these things separately, it's already a big thing. But then when you put it together, again, you can see, oh my gosh, it's a next level up. We're talking about multiple system failure across the board. So when we start looking at manufacturing operational excellence, it's not only about the role we play in mitigating this situation, making it more manageable, but there is actually also a part of adaptation that needs to come into place, whereby when you talk about excellence, it's not just about how efficient you can be at this point in time, but you need to have that ability to adapt that efficiency and effectiveness with very rapidly changing situations, right? So it could be volatility in prices for your inputs, or your other sources of production, let's say electricity, let's say water, these sorts of things as well, because of disruptive events that you cannot stop, you cannot control, right? So that ability to adapt and then the ability to deliver value that can help other people adapt is going to become more important as part of operational excellence as we move ahead.